The National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union in KwaZulu-Natal says it will use its upcoming provincial congress to plan how to lobby national government on workers' salaries. Now, the three-day congress begins today. The union wants government to implement the Public Service Resolution of 2018, which made provision for a three-year agreement on salary adjustments and improvements to conditions of public service servants or public service workers. Now, the union says if government fails to act, it will not campaign for the ANC in the upcoming local government elections. For more on this, we're joined now by NEHAWU's Provincial Secretary in KwaZulu-Natal, Ayanda Zulu. Zulu, thank you very much for your time. If you were to sum up in one sentence these threats to withhold support for the ANC in the lead up to the local government elections, what brings about this threat?
No, thank you very much, Toli. You'll remember that our December Central Executive Committee took a decision to say while our 11th National Congress of NEHAWU have resolved to support the ANC, both for the local government elections and national and provincial elections, but because of the number of issues that have happened in the recent past, which include the failure of government to implement Resolution 1 of 2018, the crisis of neoliberalism and its austerity measures, as well as how government have handled COVID-19 and the failure to pay workers risk allowance. That is why the Central Executive Committee then took a decision to say our posture towards the local government elections, we are not going to utilize workers' resources, which include physical resources, human.
Right. Looks like we have frozen. That picture has frozen to Ayanda Zulu, the NEHAWU KZN secretary. We'll see if we can try and re-establish the line. Mr. Zulu, I'm told you are back. So let's sum it up then. So it is the failure of the ANC government and its tripartite alliance. It's the failure of the ANC government to honor the agreement. That is the reason why you are now threatening to withdraw support. But you are a provincial structure. Your threats, are they supported at national level of NEHAWU?
Yes, remember that NEHAWU is having provincial congresses across the country in April, May. Then later this year, we're expected to have a national congress, which will make a final decision. So it's part of the consultation process. The provincial congress will be part of the consultation process on this particular issue, which is one of the key debates that we'll be discussing. Remember that collective bargaining is one of those rights that we fought very hard for during the democratic breakthrough.
Yeah. Mr. Zulu, I can't help but remember history at a time like this. You, NEHAWU members, through your leadership at COSATU back in 2014, November it was, you were among those affiliates who were leading the charge against NUMSA, who were saying that the ANC and its alliance partners have failed workers. But what did you do? You voted for their expulsion from COSATU. So why should people sympathize with you now?
You remember that the decision that was taken by NUMSA and the decision that have been taken by NEHAWU are not different, are extremely different.
How so?
The analysis of NEHAWU, we have not said that the National Democratic Revolution, which is the program that binds the alliances of the range, we have not made that conclusion. That is why our decision is not talking about anything about leaving alliance, but it talks about the utilization of our resources towards the local government election.
That was exactly the same argument that was used by NUMSA. NUMSA was clear that we are withholding our support, that means monetary terms, whether it be the printing of T-shirts, because the ANC government has failed workers. It's exactly the same argument you're mounting.
No, it's not the same. That's why I started with the theoretical argument that NUMSA has made a conclusion on the National Democratic Revolution, which is a theory that binds all of us in the alliance. And ourselves, we have not came into that conclusion. That is why we're not saying much. We have not came with a conclusion to say the NDR is off track. So if we have not come with that particular conclusion, it means that we still think that the National Democratic Revolution can be revitalized.
Well, someone listening to you might actually laugh at what you are saying, but perhaps let's conclude our conversation. And let me ask you the question. When it comes to this threat, some people are going to say it's actually an empty threat because we don't even know whether the local government elections are going ahead. The minister that is charged with this portfolio, Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, is going to be in Parliament today, in fact, before a committee where she might reveal a date for the election or might actually agree with political parties that not enough campaigning has been possible, therefore let's postpone the election. So it's an empty threat, is it not?
Remember that I've already made indications that this is an ongoing discussion. It will be discussed in NEHAWU Provincial Congress, this decision of the Central Executive Committee, and it will also be discussed in other provincial congresses. The roadmap towards, we still have more months to come because the only platform that can make a final conclusion about our posture will be our National Congress, which will take place in October. Therefore, as we have already made indications earlier, we are just a province, which is an integral part of the union.
Ayanda Zulu, thank you very much for your time. He's the provincial secretary of the union NEHAWU.